Lesley Manville is one of Britain's most acclaimed actors. An Oscar nominee, she starred in crime drama Sherwood.
Here it is. Here's me dishwasher. Ain't it fancy? It can do everything. Backchat, snarl, moan, grumble.
Somebody's at the door.
And plays Princess Margaret in The Crown. Now she's exploring her own family's story.
It's such an adventure for me, this. I don't even think playing Princess Margaret is going to top it.
Lesley grew up in Brighton, the youngest of 3 sisters.
Oh, that's me. With Sarah, my best friend, my sister, Diana. Oh, look, dancing! Go, girls. Twist and shout. There's Mum.
Leslie's mother, Nora, trained as a dancer.
My mum was a very beautiful, very glamorous woman. You see, all the time I've always thought I've got my performing skills from my dad, but watching this, she's definitely turning it on a bit here. Work it, girl, work it. Oh, it's Dad messing around.
Leslie's father, Ronald, had several jobs, including bookmaker and taxi driver.
You know, my dad loved to get up and sing. He was a bit of a show-off. I do feel like this real mix of a lot of my family. So there's this real curiosity to know what the rest of them were like.
Growing up, Lesley had few opportunities to find out about her family history.
All my grandparents were dead when I was born, apart from my maternal grandmother, Harriet. But she died when I was 4, and I have absolutely no memory of her. Through understanding where I've come from, I'm hoping to understand myself more.
Hello. Hello.
Leslie's asked round her son Alfie and her sister Diana
Are you all right?
to see if they can help her as she begins exploring their family's history.
And this is their wedding.
Oh, have you seen those, Alfie?
Mum and Dad. Dad's in his uniform. But that's, I'm saying Grandad because I'm looking at you. That's Grandad's mum and dad.
Yeah.
And that's Grandma's mum and dad.
Dad's dad was a postman.
Postman, yeah.
I don't remember them at all. I think they were dead.
But you must remember Harriet,
yeah,
Mum's mum.
I remember Harriet. She used to look after me occasionally, and she had these huge leather sofas. I was only about 4 or 5.
Right.
And I was bored because she wasn't playing with me or anything. And so I engraved my my initials
On the leather sofa.
on the leather chair
With what?
with my nail.
Oh.
And
Naughty
and she was very angry, and I don't blame her.
She took in foster children as well. So
Harriet took in foster children.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was
That's
an
why-
amazing woman.
And the fact that she left her first husband
Yeah.
and just got out. She just took the kids and left him.
So she was a bit of a rebel.
Yeah. But do you remember Mum's dad at all?
No. He had passed on when I
Right.
was born.
They weren't married, were they? Famously weren't married. He looks a bit of a miserable bugger, doesn't he? But
Mum said he was.
yeah,
He looks quite strict.
he
there.
does. I mean, look, it's his daughter's wedding day and he's not even smiling.
He wasn't a very nice man by all accounts. I don't even know what his name is.
No, that's pretty bad, isn't it? So, I mean, we can see from this, this is Mum's birth certificate.
Oh, her dad's name would be on here.
So, name and surname of father, James Arthur Edwards. There you go, James Arthur Edwards. Name, surname and maiden surname of mother, Harriet Barton, formerly Ailing. I'd be
Because they
interested
weren't
to know
married.
what the time scale was between Harriet not being with her first husband and then meeting
Me too.
James.
Yeah.
You know, did Harriet and James have an affair and get pregnant with Mum?
Well, Mum used to say to me, I'm illegitimate. So she was told that story. at
She didn't
least.
really admit it to us till much later, though, did she?
No.
And it was sort of always presented as a mystery as well, wouldn't it, from Mum, because nobody talked about it, because they weren't married.
No.
So the plot thickens.
Yes.
Lesley has found out the name of her mum's dad, her grandfather, James Arthur Edwards, who died before Lesley was born. She knows that her grandparents weren't married when her mum Nora was born in 1923, and that her grandmother Harriet had previously been married to someone called Barton and had 3 children with him. Lesley's come back to Brighton, where she grew up, and where her grandfather James and grandmother Harriet lived, to see what she can find out about how her grandparents got together. Her first stop is the Keep, where the archives for East Sussex are held.
Hello.
Lesley, welcome to the
Andrew.
Keep.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
She's meeting archivist Andrew Bolton.
So, come on, spill the beans.
So, well, the first document I have here for you is a marriage certificate
That's this one here.
from 1906.
Right. And it's the marriage of George Thomas Barton and Harriet Ailing. So this is Grandma Harriet's husband.
Yes, it is, yes.
He was 26, she was 20. Oh, right, OK.
So this is the 1911 census.
Right,
So this is 5 years on from the marriage.
Yep, yep. So George Thomas Barton, he's the head of the household, he's 30. Harriet is his wife, she's 26. And their children, Winifred, Wilfred and Peggy. So they had them fairly quickly.
So if you look in the next column,
Yeah.
where it states total children born.
They had 4 children. Oh, they lost a child. Oh. Oh, I didn't know that. That's really sad. One imagines that Harriet and George were beside themselves. Who knows whether that caused a problem with the marriage?
It's possible.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Mm. So this is also a census from 1911.
Oh, right. So this is the same year, so this is presumably a different family I'm looking
Yes,
at.
that's right.
James Arthur Edwards, age 26. Ah, so this is my mother's father.
Yes.
My grandfather was also married before then,
Yes.
before he was with Harriet.
Yeah.
He's married to Mabel, who's 25, and he's had children. Wow. I mean, I imagined that he had had some sort of previous life. But I don't suppose I imagined that there were children. Wow.
Lesley has discovered that her grandmother Harriet's husband was called George, and has learned from the 1911 census that her grandfather James had also been married previously to Mabel and also had children.
So for me, the big question is, what happened between 1911 and 1923, when my mother was born, to separate these 2 families? Because Harriet was no longer with her husband, and James was no longer with his wife. What the hell went on?
To try and fill in the missing years in her grandfather James and grandmother Harriet's story, Lesley's come to Brighton's Royal Pavilion. She's meeting social historian Claire Langhammer.
So, Claire, what I found out this morning was that my maternal grandfather, James, was married to a lady called Mabel. And I had no idea that him and Mabel had children, because my mother certainly never talked about it.
OK, so if you look at this, this is the electoral register from 1918.
OK?
If you look under Washington Street there on the right, look at the first house down.
There he is. James Arthur Edwards. And he's there with Mabel. And who's Frederick Ernest Nash, who's living there as well? A lodger?
Yeah. So it's a household of 3 adults in 1918.
So what does that mean? The A before that number?
The A denotes absent.
Absent?
Yeah, so James is not there at the time that this register was taken because he's in the army.
Right.
And the next thing that I want you to look at is a birth certificate.
OK. The father's name and surname is Frederick Ernest Nash, and the mother is Mabel Edwards. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Mabel had a child with Frederick, who was the lodger.
Yeah.
And this is dated the 22nd of April, 1921. That's a couple of years before my mother was born. So, hang on a minute, there's a million and one things going through my mind here. James, my grandfather, must have known about this.
He will have known about it at this point because they're living in the home. If you look at the address, they're in 34 Washington Street. So,
Oh, yeah, 30, yeah.
Mabel is still living there, but with the lodger and with their newly born child.
All right. Well, yes, let's not forget there was a war, and war must make people have some sense of, I would think, abandonment. You know, you don't know if you're going to live the night.
Yeah.
You seize a moment of romance, passion.
Mm-hmm.
You seize it because your husband might never come back. You might die tomorrow.
Yeah, the First World War is one of those moments of dislocation. You know, people are moving all over the place. Some men are not coming back. It's a moment where relationships change, family relationships change, and people's sense of perhaps what they want from relationships changes as well.
Right, right.
So Mabel and Frederick are a couple.
Yes.
With a son.
Right.
But then, of course, you know that your grandparents, James and Harriet, are also a couple when your mother was born in 1923.
Yes.
So two couples, neither of the couples are married.
No.
You've got this quite complicated situation. Part of the problem in this period is that divorce is really quite hard to come by for working class people because it costs money.
Right.
So these couples who are cohabiting without getting divorced, without being able to marry each other, whilst it's not a norm, it's certainly not that unusual.
So they would do that because that's the only thing you could make of that situation.
In 1923, the year Lesley's mum was born, the law changed to allow women to apply for a divorce on the same grounds as men. But for working-class people like Lesley's grandparents, divorce was still beyond their means. It was an expensive process that could cost tens of thousands of pounds in today's money.
We're now moving to the next sort of trace of your grandparents. So this was a survey that was done in 1939, just in the early months of the Second World War, to find out where everybody was for organising ration books.
Oh, I see, yeah. So living at 5 Clyde Road is James A. Edwards and Harriet. Here they are together. Personal occupation, he's a railway works labourer, and Harriet's doing unpaid domestic duties. Does that mean housewife?
It does. Yeah. So they've both got the same surname here.
Oh, my goodness, I missed that.
So one of the things that people who are living together but not married sometimes did, particularly when they were...
It's the Mr. and Mrs. Smith
It
syndrome.
is. But this taking of the shared name is something that, especially during the Second World War, people were kind of doing more and more. So James and Harriet see themselves and portray themselves
As a couple.
as
Yes.
Mr. and Mrs. Edwards.
Wow, OK.
The next
Oh dear, this
document
looks
as well.
serious now. This says High Court of Justice. Be it known, oh dear, James Arthur Edwards of Brighton died on the 8th of June, 1943. OK. This is the last will and testament of me, James Arthur Edwards, of 42 The Crescent, Mulscoombe, Brighton, in the county of Sussex. I give, devise, and bequeath everything of which I shall die possessed to my friend Harriet Barton, aforesaid, with whom I have been living. That's the word sweet doesn't do it, does it?
It's just beautiful, isn't it?
It's very sweet. I give it to my friend. I mean, what more would you want from a partner in life for them to say that you're their friend? I mean, that's just the best it gets, really. That's just amazing. And
It's lovely.
it's sort of demystified a lot of, I'm just coming to me now, a lot of really based on nothing opinions I had about Grandad, because my mother just used to say, oh, he was very strict, and I have this image of this rather austere man who's was a bit impenetrable and a bit cold, I suppose. But clearly, I want to come to the conclusion that Harriet was his big love and his friend. That's just absolutely wonderful. I'm not saying that with everything that Claire's told me today, we can fill in all the gaps and create this rosy, romantic view of what maybe we want the situation to be, but I certainly see James as a man who fits now more with what my image of Harriet always was. I always used to think, Harriet, good person. Grandad, maybe not such a good person. And I see them more now as a couple, as a good couple. You know, they chose to be together. He was married, but he was with Harriet. And it seems quite wholesome in a strange way.
Now she knows more about her mother's parents, Lesley wants to find out more about her father's side of the family. So she's contacting Hazel Manville, the wife of her cousin Rex, and a keen amateur genealogist. She's been looking into the Manville line.
Hello, Hazel.
Hello, Lesley.
Hello. I hear you've been digging around the Manville archive.
Afraid so.
What a nice thing to do. It's something I've always wanted to do, but it seems very daunting, and then it's very time-consuming. And
It is, yes, but I had time. I started when I retired, getting on for 25 years ago.
wow. Okay. So what am I looking at here? This is a baptism
That's right.
solemnised in the parish of Selborne in the year 1821. Gosh, that's a long way back. Who am I looking for?
You're looking for Harding.
Harding. I've found a Harding, the second one down. June the 3rd. The child's name is James.
James is your 2 times great-grandfather.
Right, okay. The Christian name of the parents is Aaron and Sarah, surname Harding.
And they are your 3 times great-grandparents.
My 3 times great-grandparents, Aaron and Sarah Harding.
That's the one, yes.
The abode is Selborne. He's a labourer. Great. And then this next document is called Allegations for Marriage Licences in Hampshire.
Yes, that's right. This takes you back to the marriage of your 3 times great-grandparents.
Oh, yes, got it, right. Aaron Harding, he's a labourer, he's 20. B with C of his M. Mary Crutcher and Sarah Stacey, 7th of August, 1810.
Yes, 1810.
Can you translate? What does B mean for a start? B with C.
Bachelor.
Bachelor, yeah.
20-year-old bachelor. And he had to have the consent of his mother, Mary Crutcher, because he was underage.
Right, the C of his M.
And Sarah Stacey, who is his other half.
And she's a little bit older than him. She's 23. OK. What else can you tell me, Hazel?
I can't get any further because Aaron Harding is a bit of a mystery in that I can't find a death certificate.
Oh, right.
I don't know what happened to him.
Right. Well, maybe that mystery will be unravelled with a bit more digging and delving.
Hopefully.
Thanks so much.
You're very welcome.
Bye for now. Bye.
Bye.
Lesley can now connect the family line back nearly 130 years, from her dad, Ronald Manville, all the way to her great-great-great-grandparents, Aaron Harding and Sarah Stacey. To see if she can find out any more about them, Lesley is travelling to Hampshire, where she knows they both lived.
It's very good to be here, knowing that my paternal side of my family were here many centuries ago. It does feel like stepping back in time. The Hardings were leading a very rural life, and it does feel like that, driving down here. It's beautiful, and that it is idyllic, but it's a very different life.
Lesley's come to Selborne, where her great-great-grandfather James was baptised, to see if the records of St Mary's Church hold any clues about what happened to his parents, her 3 times great-grandparents, Aaron and Sarah. She's meeting up with Carl Griffin, an expert on 19th century rural life.
So I've found out today that my 3 times great-grandfather, Aaron Harding, was born in 1790. He was a labourer. So I'm just wondering what life would have been like around here for a young man like Aaron in that period.
It would have been really tough for Aaron and anyone of that kind of age at the time. The work was unremittingly hard to labour in the fields.
And it would have been agricultural labour.
Yeah, it was mostly kind of agricultural labour in a parish like Selborne.
And what can you tell me about Aaron specifically?
You might want to have a look at the first document.
OK, this is burials in the parish of Selborne in 1829.
Yeah.
Oh, and Sarah's died.
Mm-hmm.
Aged 44. You got any idea what she died of?
We don't, but we can kind of speculate at the age of 44, having had 9 children, the youngest on Sarah's death being just 8 months old.
Gosh, you can imagine an exhaustion apart from anything else. Her body at 44 must have been exhausted.
Yeah.
You know, she spent most of her adult life carrying a child, being pregnant.
Yeah.
So Sarah's death leaves Aaron a single parent with 9 children. How would he survive?
So by the 1820s, a lot of rural parishes, particularly in the south and east of England, are paying an equivalent of like a child support payment, topping up people's kind of wages.
That's kind of the equivalent now of getting benefits.
But these are not generous amounts of money.
No.
And in effect, they form a wage subsidy. The farmers abuse it. They see it as this opportunity to shift the cost of wages from themselves to this broader community.
I see. Kind of negates the whole point of it, really, doesn't it? It's meant to be a bolster to the wages. It's not an excuse to reduce the wages.
Absolutely.
It's a lose-lose situation, really, for the labourers.
So it all builds up to something kind of ahead in 1830.
Right.
So we have the eyewitness testimony of the local vicar, Reverend Cobbold,
Right.
of a fateful day in November 1830.
OK. I saw a large mob of persons coming in a riotous manner towards the workhouse. I saw Harding, that's Aaron.
Yes.
Harding said that the wages of the labourers must be raised to 12 shillings per week. The most of the mob then went away towards the workhouse. Can you just break that down for me a bit, please?
There's a lot going
Doesn't
on.
sound good.
No. So in the late summer of 1830, there had been a series of protests, of collective actions that's become known as the Swing Riots. So in the morning of the 22nd of November, they start to gather up in the parish of Selborne, and Aaron Harding has evidently kind of taken it upon himself to be, you know, to be something of a leader, something of a spokesperson for, you know, this kind of very large group of kind of men who've come together.
God, I love him. I love him for doing that. You know, he's got gumption. He's not going to put up with what he thinks is a massive injustice. He may be going about it in the wrong way, I don't know, but I admire the man who says this is not good enough, and I'm going to demonstrate in some kind of way. But he was obviously part of a kind of tidal wave of resentment that was going on. It wasn't just Aaron, it was this whole movement of people who had had enough, and quite rightly so they'd had enough.
Lesley's 3 times great-grandfather, Aaron Harding, took part in one of the biggest uprisings Britain has ever seen, the Swing Riots. Agricultural labourers who had endured years of low pay and hard conditions and were now being put out of work by the increased mechanisation of farming, protested by destroying threshing machines. This was followed by attacks on barns and other buildings. Lesley and Carl have come to the workhouse, also known as the poorhouse, where the Selborne protesters, including Aaron, gathered in November 1830.
Why were they coming here?
Poorhouses were often seen as symbols of oppression of the system. The master of the poorhouse here is known locally as being a pretty nasty piece of work.
Right. So it's not just about their own personal situation. They're trying to right all sorts of wrongs that are going on in Selborne.
So we have another report.
Right. And it says, on Monday morning last, a mob, about 300 in number, collected from the surrounding country, entered Selborne armed with large clubs. They proceeded to the workhouse, and in less than 15 minutes, the house was unroofed, the doors and windows broken to pieces, and the furniture destroyed and burnt. It's a proper mutiny.
It's really thought that, you know, that these kind of events in places like Selborne might kind of bubble over into a revolution.
Yes, and all for the rights of people to be able to live and feed their children and live a basic but decent life.
Quite. So they partly demolished the poorhouse in Selborne. The next day, Aaron and several other men move on to the neighbouring parish of Headley.
And is that in it documented?
Should we have a look at the next document
Yeah.
too?
All right, so this is the Hampshire Advertiser and Royal Yacht Club Gazette. This is somebody called James Shoesmith. I was the master of the Headley poorhouse. The mob returned and rushed into the house like a torrent. They came into every part of the house. They began to break the windows and the partitions between the rooms. The ceilings and rafters of the upper rooms were pulled down. They had made their way through to the roof by pushing off the tiles. The men continued at work till dark. I saw Harding, as well as many others, drinking the wine. Go, Grandad. Thomas Harding was there and got very drunk with the wine. There was not one room in the house left entire. What a night.
Indeed. So we know that Aaron is there, but also his younger brother.
His younger brother?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Thomas is
Harding.
Yeah, about 8 years younger than Aaron.
Right. It seems like this epic sort of mission that they're on to, that with, you know, it's all about, come on, justice.
It's an extraordinary kind of bold and brave thing to do.
I'm so proud of Aaron. I'm bursting with pride for what he's done. I mean, it's churning up a lot of stuff inside me that he was this poor man who just knew the difference between right and wrong and being, to use a modern phrase, being ripped off, not being properly paid for the work he was doing. He sounds like such a fantastic character. Right, so brilliant as all of this is, it can't have happened without consequences.
Destroying a house is a capital offence. It's very, very serious in the eyes of a law which puts the defence of private property before all else. So within a fortnight, Aaron, Thomas and several other men are rounded up and arrested. They're sent to the county jail at Winchester to be put on trial.
Wow.
Lesley's on her way to Winchester Castle, where in the 1830s, trials for the county's most serious crimes were held. She's hoping to learn more from historian Rose Wallace.
So, Rose, I was left with the news that my 3 times great-grandfather, Aaron Harding, and his brother Thomas were arrested. They were put in jail and they were awaiting trial.
Malicious damage to property and the demolition of houses in the context of a riot.
Yes, yeah.
Was the capital offence. So they are facing the most serious charges.
OK.
They take forward 2 cases concerning Aaron and Thomas. So there are going to be 2 trials and they're going to look at Selborne first. So this is an account of the Selborne trial.
Right. So the Hampshire County Newspaper and General Advertiser, Monday the 27th of December 1830. Mr. Justice Park summed up the evidence at great length, previous to which he observed to the jury that unless they were satisfied that the mob at first intended to demolish the whole house, the indictment could not be sustained. After a short deliberation, the jury returned a verdict of not guilty. They got off.
Yes.
Wow. That's good news.
But they're still looking at the case against them for Headley as well. And this is tried 3 days later before a different judge this time.
Right.
And the case is much more serious.
Right. OK, so this is the Times, a few days later. Mr. Baron Vaughan, in summing up the evidence, said that if the jury believed the evidence, they could have little doubt that the intention of the mob assembled on this occasion was to pull down the house. The first question, however, for the jury to decide was whether they had commenced with the intent to pull down the house. It's a good point, that, actually, isn't it? Because it could hinge on that.
Yeah, in the way that Selborne, there was not enough intention.
Yes, yeah. The learned judge observed that even if the most severe distress existed amongst the people, it would be no excuse for such outrageous violations of the law as these prisoners were charged with.
He doesn't want to make the jury feel sympathetic towards the defendants.
It certainly looks like he's steering them in one direction. Yeah.
Would you like to go to where they would have heard the verdict?
OK. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my God, I wasn't expecting this. So what's this room?
This is the Great Hall at the Castle of Winchester. So they've used this space for prosecutions for centuries. We would have had the judge's bench and the dock and the jury box.
And would it have been full of people?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
We've got press accounts that talk about it being crowded to excess. So absolutely thronging.
It's quite intimidating, isn't it? Aaron would have felt really vulnerable and lonely in a room like this, full of strangers gawping at you, in a way, I suspect, wanting, a lot of them wanting the worst.
So, Lesley, you'll find out what the jury decided.
The jury considered together for a short time and returned a verdict of guilty against all the prisoners. Well, what was the sentence?
So they're brought into the dock, and this details their sentencing.
Mr. Baron Vaughan said, prisoners, the direction of the court that sentence of death should be recorded without being formally pronounced in your cases shows you that you have been spared the extreme penalty of the law. Wow, they must have breathed a sigh of relief.
The way it's phrased, the fact that it's not formally pronounced in that way, means that it signals that they are not going to actually execute them.
Yes, it is confusing reading it, because at first I thought they were going to be sentenced to death. So it's like saying, well, we're going to say that you're being sentenced to death, but we're not going to do it.
And it's a specific legal formula which is there to signal that they are guilty of that capital felony.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
But there's a clear intention here that they are going to give them a different sentence.
Right, OK.
So this is actually from the Home Office correspondence regarding Aaron's case. It details the sentence he faced.
Right. Demolishing a house. Sentence commuted to something for life, to...
Transportation for life.
Transportation for life.
Aaron is transported to Australia for life.
Right.
There still had to be that element of making an example of these men. So they're essentially banishing Aaron.
Yes, yeah.
Thomas is also transported.
Right.
But for 7 years.
Ah.
So Aaron is put on a ship on the 19th of February, 1831, and sent to New South Wales.
Wow. Wow. I can't really begin to imagine what Aaron must have felt like getting on that boat. He was without anybody that he knew. No compassion, no love, no family. That life I've known is gone forever. So I'm intrigued to know what became of him, this man who was only setting out to do right for his people.
Following the trail of her 3 times great-grandfather Aaron Harding, Lesley has come to Sydney, in New South Wales, Australia, where in 1831 he was transported for life.
I've been to Sydney twice before, once when I was very young, and then I was back here in the mid-90s with my family, and I just absolutely loved it here. But Aaron was ripped away from his family, so it was a very brutal experience, very harsh.
The British first landed in New South Wales in 1770. In 1787, the first convicts were transported from England to New South Wales to establish a penal colony. By the 1830s, thousands were sentenced every year to make the 12,000-mile journey. As the colony grew, volunteer or free settlers were encouraged to come from Britain to develop and farm the land using convict labour, and more colonies were established. In the process, the continent's indigenous people were driven off the land. It's been estimated that tens of thousands were killed. After more than 4 months at sea, Lesley's 3 times great-grandfather Aaron Harding arrived in Sydney on the convict ship Eleanor on the 26th of June, 1831. Lesley has come to the Hyde Park barracks, where convicts like Aaron were held on arrival. Historian David Roberts is showing Lesley where they slept.
Oh, my goodness.
Can you imagine the noise?
Yes. And the smell.
And the smell.
They're so close together.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, they'd be knocking each other, wouldn't they?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, dear. So, David, Aaron and the other convicts arrive at the barracks. What happens next?
One of the interesting things about arriving in Sydney is that the authorities compile a very, very thorough account of what the person looks like.
Oh, do they?
And what we've got here is the indentures for Aaron Harding on his arrival.
So his name is Aaron Harding. He came on the ship, the Eleanor. His trade or calling, he ploughs and reaps and sows.
That's important.
He's 5'5"3/4". He's quite small.
He's a little fella, although that's probably an average height
Is
for that
it?
period. I would think so.
Right. I was going to say it explains why I'm only 5'2".
Yeah, perhaps.
But maybe not. Complexion dark and ruddy. Now that's interesting because my father always had a kind of sun-browned face and
Yes.
he was always ruddy, rosy cheeks, and
Yes.
I've got really rosy cheeks as well.
Yeah, okay.
General remarks, third finger on right hand, crooked at joint. That's that
Yeah.
finger, isn't it?
That sounds like a farming
An
accident.
accident.
Yeah.
Goodness me, I get a little picture of Aaron there.
Exactly. So if he ever runs away, they go back to this record
Yeah.
and they can publish an exact physical description of him.
Right.
But at some point, the senior authorities, possibly even the governor themselves, would line all the convicts up and give them a bit of a lecture. So all convicts on arrival were addressed about what they could expect. And this was essentially a lecture to tell them that they were in a position where they could either behave themselves and possibly do quite well, or they could go the other way and end up on the gallows.
Right,
And that was a pretty critical choice facing every convict who arrived.
right.
Okay, now this is a colony where convicts, above all else, are a source of labour. They're required to work.
Right. So the fact that he can plough and reap and sow that's what he'll be put to do while
That's
he's
what
here.
defines him.
Yes.
That's actually very, very valuable skills. This is essentially an agricultural
Yeah.
colony. There's a lot of farming. Now, the labour of convicts belongs to the Crown, belongs to the government, but the government has the power to assign it to private settlers. And what they're doing is they're sending convicts out to work in the rural areas for private masters.
Okay, so it would be to individual families, and then they would become the responsibility of that
That's
person.
right. So the convict is assigned to the free settler, and the free settler bears the responsibility for feeding, accommodating, looking after that convict.
Right.
Now, we do have an assignment record for Aaron Harding. This tells us what happened to him after he leaves Hyde Park Barracks.
Okay. He's got a number. He's 4739. Aaron Harding, age 41. So he's sent to somebody called John Atkinson.
That's correct.
And the residence is Sutton Forest.
Yeah, so John Atkinson is a settler, and Sutton Forest is down south, and in those days it was a pretty remote, very pretty, but very remote and pretty rough place.
Right.
And so at some point, someone would have come and collected Aaron Harding, put him on a cart, and they would have taken him all the way down to Sutton Forest.
Yeah.
And he leaves here not really knowing where he's going or what he's in for.
Yeah. Goodness.
Lesley is leaving Sydney behind and retracing Aaron's journey to the once remote rural area of Sutton Forest, over 80 miles away.
This is where Aaron was sent to work for John Atkinson in this area around here. I could be looking at fields right now that he ploughed, that he reaped and sowed. You can imagine him wondering, well, what's it going to be like? It could have been absolutely different entirely to the English countryside. But there's a feeling of similarity.
To learn more about Aaron's new life here, Lesley has come to meet local historian Linda Emery.
So Aaron, my 3 times great-grandfather, gets sent somewhere near here, thrust into kind of a whole new life and existence with a family that he doesn't know. So how do you think that would have played out for him?
John Atkinson was a free settler who had come to New South Wales in 1823. His brother was already here.
Right.
And John Atkinson, like his brother, I think, was a good manager of men. They believed that a man who's fed well and looked after and has decent accommodation is going to be a better worker.
So Aaron sort of struck lucky, really.
Aaron, I think, probably struck lucky coming here.
Right.
Working on a farm, his life would not have been dissimilar from his life in England.
Just without all the, you know, familiarity and family and all of that, yeah.
But in 1837, there's quite a development in Aaron's life.
Right.
If you take a look at this transcript.
Approval of Secretary of State, the 9th of November 1837. Name Aaron Harding, ship the Eleanor, year of arrival 1831. So what's this saying?
Well, it's actually a transcript from a list of conditional pardons.
Right.
That were issued in November 1837.
So is this saying he's a free man?
It's saying he's got a conditional pardon.
And is this because he's been a good boy?
No. Well, he probably was a good boy, but by 1837, virtually all the Swing Rioters had received either an absolute pardon or a conditional pardon. So that's a nice thing.
It's a very good thing.
Yes.
And why do you think this came about?
There was pressure in England. The mid-1830s is a time of great reform in the Parliament and of the judicial system.
Since 1831, after the Swing Rioters were sentenced, supporters had been campaigning for their pardon. They hoped to persuade the British government, who were dealing with widespread unrest, by passing political and legal reforms, to look again at the Swing Rioters' punishment. Finally, in 1836, to the sound of cheers in Parliament, the Home Secretary announced pardons for the majority of the transported rioters.
So Aaron's got what they called a conditional pardon. An absolute pardon is absolute. You can do whatever you like, but a conditional pardon means that you are free, but you must remain in New South Wales and its dependencies, which basically meant Australia and New Zealand. You can never go back to England.
You can never go back. Ah, right. And of course, he wasn't in a position to say, that's OK, I'll bring the 9 kids over here.
No, no.
So it's bittersweet. So what does he do? Do you know what he then went on to?
So, yes, have a look at another transcript.
OK. Oh. Baptisms administered in the parish of All Saints in the county of Camden. When born, 26th of September 1845, the child's Christian name is Aaron.
Isn't that lovely?
And the parents' names are Aaron and Alice, surname Harding. The abode is Sutton Forest, which is where we are now, and his profession is farming. So Aaron's met Alice.
Yes.
And they've had a baby Aaron.
They have. And you can see he's still here, 1845. He's still in the area.
Yes, sorry, I was so excited about the baptism, I kind of didn't quite clock the date.
Yeah.
So he's been here 14 years.
Yes.
Does that mean he's got married?
So, in fact, Alice was married to somebody else.
Right.
She had arrived in the colony in 1838 with a husband and 4 children. Clearly, she met Aaron and they're living together.
Right.
This suggests they're married, but they weren't.
No. So do we know who he's working for? Is he still working for Mr. Atkinson?
No.
No.
I think he's working for himself.
Well, I'm really happy to hear that because what he's been through must have been so tremendously challenging, not least of all because of the loneliness of it. And if his condition was that he had to stay here, how lovely that he found a kind of new life, created a new life for himself. So he's started a family here. Does that mean that I have family here now?
Well, Aaron had descendants.
Yes.
It's quite bizarre to think I've got family here all this time that I've never known about.
Lesley has discovered that her 3 times great-grandfather, Aaron Harding, had more children after being transported, creating a new family line in Australia. Sisters Rebecca and Claire Watts are descended from Aaron Jr. Like Lesley, they are also Aaron's great-great-great-granddaughters. Lesley's travelling to All Saints Church, where Aaron Harding's son, Aaron Jr., was baptised. She's here to meet descendants of the newly revealed Australian branch of her family.
Hello.
Hi, nice to meet you.
And you too, I'm Lesley.
Hi, Lesley. I'm Rebecca.
Hi, Rebecca.
I'm Claire. Nice to meet you.
Hello.
It's becoming too cold. It's like a horror story.
I know, I would hug you if it wasn't for COVID.
Yeah.
How amazing to be here so far away and meet people who are, well, we're cousins, aren't we?
We're definitely
Somewhere.
related.
We're
Yeah.
somewhere.
Definitely.
Somewhere down the line. Do we look alike?
Maybe you two. I think. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not sure. I think you two.
So we have a couple of things that you might be interested in taking a look at.
Ooh. Oh my goodness. Is this who I think it is? Is this Aaron?
It is.
I never expected to see a photo. Look at him. That's quite a beard he's got going on there, isn't it?
Yes, definitely.
Oh my goodness.
Do you see any resemblance?
I do.
Yeah.
He really reminds me of my dad's dad, who I didn't know. He was dead before I was born, but I've seen photos of him.
Yeah.
He was a postman. It's a warm face, isn't it? It's a soft face.
It is, yeah.
That's kind.
Yeah. Yeah.
And is that Alice?
Yes, that's Alice. And we think that is baby William.
Right.
And this photo we think was taken around 1850 in South Australia.
So he'd have been 60 because he was
Yeah.
born 1790.
Yeah.
And he looks in great shape,
Yeah.
doesn't he? I never, ever, ever imagined I'd see a picture of him.
Yeah.
Look at his little waistcoat, one button done off. Oh, it's just lovely. I was very happy to find that out, that he had this kind of second chance and he took it, and you know, he deserved all of that given what he'd been through.
That's right.
You know,
Yeah. So we've got a little bit more to show you.
Okay.
It's the next part of the story.
Oh, so this is the Adelaide Times, Saturday, November the 8th, 1851. Ooh. Dangerous practice. Ooh. On Thursday last, Dr. Duncan held an inquest, on the body of Aaron Harding. From the evidence, it appeared that the unfortunate deceased was driving a bullock dray from the port and had adopted the two usual method of riding on the pole from which he fell. So he got thrown from it then?
It sounds like it, yeah. It was pretty precarious to be able to sit on that spot. So it seems like that was, unfortunately how his life ended.
Oh, no, that's not a good end for him. He was such a hero.
Yes, yeah.
Oh dear, that's not good. So do you know what happened then to the family, the rest of the family?
I guess that's where Aaron Jr. comes into play. So they stayed in that area.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's where our dad is from. He's from Adelaide as well.
Right.
So we know that they had a pretty strong family there, I guess. Yeah.
Thank you ever so much.
Oh, no, not at all.
So nice to meet you. You've definitely got a kind of positivity that I feel is a sort of family thing, which is just great.
It's lovely, isn't that good?
Yeah. Rebecca and Claire, they were such wonderful women. And of course, they showed me things that I never thought I'd be seeing a photo of Aaron. That's extraordinary that he was my 3 times great-grandfather and I can look at a picture of him. He was born in 1790 and I've looked at his face this morning. It has been quite a journey, but I already feel grounded in a way that I didn't before. And I can see where a lot of my characteristics come from. We can see Aaron's bravery, but there was a bravery to my maternal grandparents as well. But we all have our own personal stories of carrying on and forging ahead and pushing forwards when you feel battered down and all of those things. So there is a resilience in me, and I can just sort of feel the essence of all of that bravery of my family. It's kind of come through.